What is going on, YuGiOh community? It is YuGiOh Palette, and I am back with a brand new vlog video. It has been at least 5 months since the last video we did, and a lot of things have happened. So we just got into Phantom Nightmare coming out a couple weeks ago, and we are now in a tier 0 format with things like Snake Eyes Fire King and just pure Snake Eyes going out. And it's been a very interesting time to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! I have been playing Heroes for a little while, then I ended up changing to Snake Eyes Fire King before Phantom Nightmare came out. But to avoid the hurt that was going to go to my wallet by investing into more cards, I was just like, no, I'm going to drop this, play something else. And that's what I ended up doing. I got more boxes of Phantom Nightmare. I opened up 5 boxes. I opened up 5 boxes. Did not do a video for those because I was just opening boxes. I should have, because it was a GX set and I should have done it. But I was looking for YuBell because it's YuBell. You got to play it. But then what we pulled was the things that we were looking for was a Voiceless Voice, which was a deck I was very anticipated to play when it came out. And I figured low was going to be a secret rare, and it was. So I was like, okay, we got to at least try to pull 3 of them. I pulled a good majority of the deck. So let's get straight into the deck profile so I can show you what we took to our locals. And I'll show you guys the gameplays of that we went of the matches that we went through. So starting off with the deck, very interesting enough, we played 2 lows, mostly because I only pulled 2. So I didn't have the 3rd copy. It didn't come in time, so we only ran 2. And then afterwards, we have the 3 Diviners and 1 Treya. Shout out to Danny for hooking me up with those Diviners a long time ago. Then we also had 3 of the Dragon Queen, 1 Ceravas, 2 Skull Guardians, 2 Ritual Ceravas. And then we also had the 3 Barriers, 2 Prayers, and 1 Radiance. Our typical standout line for the Voiceless Voice, this is 20 cards. It would be 21 if we had the 3rd low. So that's it for the Voiceless cards. Then we go into the non-engines. We have 3 Preparation of Rights, a really good card that searches out a lot of your stuff. 3 Pot of Prosperities, which is finally being used because they've been sitting in my Keeps binder for a long time because I was eventually going to use them, and finally I get to use them. Then we have 2 Triple Tactics Talents. To be honest, I would have cut these to play the 3rd low because my deck is at 41. So this would have been like a 3rd low. I would have cut these out for that 3rd low, been at 40, or a 1-for-1, but I did not have a 1-for-1. I could not find it and just went with the Triple Tactics Talent to draw into it if I needed to. Then 1 Call by the Grave. Then lastly, Hand Traps, 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 3 Ash, and then 3 Infinite Impermanence. I was going back and forth between using Super Polymerization instead of Ash Blossoms, but decided just to go into that instead. Into the extra deck really quickly, we have 1 Garua Wing, 1 Mud Dragon, and 1 Dragostopelia. I don't have any other Super Poly targets, so this is what I ended up playing today. And then I also had the 1 whatever it's called, 2 Dino Mundo, really good card. I like this card a lot, and it actually works out very well with the deck. 1 IP, 1 Dark, 1 Lilo, 1 Celine, and 1 Access Code Talker. So Danny actually has my Link Code Talker, I'm sorry, my Link Karibo, and I did not get my Relinquish Anima in. The theory was to use, like, I went into, like, low, link it off, go into a dark monster, go into dark in case if I need to take something from my opponents, and unfortunately, I didn't have any of those. So a lot of these cards were just Pot of Prosperity fodder. Then I also got 1 of the Typhon. Shout outs to Aaron for this card. Not gonna lie, I did not know how to like really use this card all that well because I just picked it up before the round started, before the tournament started. So it was like a last minute add-on because I was running what was it called? The Goddess of the Closed World. So yeah, that was interesting. And the 3 Heralds of the Arc Light, just to round off when we need to send something for like Diviner. But yeah, that's it for the whole entire deck. We took this version to locals, and now we're going to get into the gameplay that we did. We had 4 rounds. We had, I believe, 16 players total. A few of them were gone for the Las Vegas 3v3 tournament. So it was only 16 players today. And we went through 4 rounds, so let's get into the play-by-play. So for round 1, we played against Labrynth, and I'm not going to lie, it has been a long time since I played against Labrynth, so I'm going to struggle a little bit with this gameplay going back and forth, so I'm just going to let it play while I'm going, like, narrating here. But my opponent goes first. He won the die roll, as they always do, and they set up, like, 2 cards face down, have their Labrynth Lady. I can't remember which one. I get the names confused, if it's the Silver Lady or anything like that. And then my turn, I had a pretty good hand. I had low, I had barrier, and I'm sorry, I activated barrier, got low, summoned low, set the trap card, and then I had a Saphira already in my hand, so I sent it to the graveyard so I could get Skull Protector, be able to do the casual plays that you could do with the barrier, with the Voiceless Voice cards, and I was just able to pop some cards and just able to attack for a 4100 damage monster, and it was pretty cool. I liked it, and it was like, it popped off very well. And I was able to negate also with the Voiceless, the Skull Guardian. And what I do like is also the Ceravis letting me bounce it back to my hand, especially some of the ritual Ceravis from my graveyard to allow me to negate a summon. So that's actually really cool as well. So when it became my opponent's turn, he's just it seemed like he was trying to pull more defenses and tried to set up his back rows. But like the way my deck was kind of just working, I was just able to negate stuff that he really needed. And then when it came to my turn, I was able to put a little bit more gas into my deck, into my plays, and I had like the pre-preparation of rights, searched out what I needed, summon out Ceravis again, and then go into Dynamundo to bounce his card back to his deck. And then I was just like able to set up some damage and able to attack directly and for game, and it was really good for game one, so the deck worked out very well there. So when it came to game two, my opponent goes first. He has the pot of extravagance, I apologize, and he draws 2 cards and he sets 4 back rows, one of them being an anti-spell fragrance. So when he activated it, he chained the black goat that laughs and called low, so I could not special summon low except from the graveyard, and that's fine because I had Diviner of the Herald. And honestly, when I summoned out Diviner of the Herald, it dawned on me that I could send Elder Entity Knits from my extra deck to the graveyard so I could pop anti-spell fragrance, and actually that worked out a lot better for me because I was able to do that. And after contemplating what my next play was going to be here, because he set up where he could summon out that, I think it's Silver Ladies, if I'm correct, I don't know, but anyways, I was able to pop the anti-spell fragrance, and from there I was able to go off a little bit. I had the Serapha in my hand, so I sent to the graveyard to search out the Skull Protector, and then I activated Barrier to search low because it could be still treated as the full tribute of the ritual summoning. So I summoned out Skull Guardian, activated its effect, and chain low, but he had a infinite impermanence to negate the Skull Guardian, unfortunately, but I still could summon out low from my graveyard, so that could at least give me a negate. But I had Super Polymerization in my hand to fuse both his monsters to go into Garua Wing, so I summoned out the low, so now I kind of have that negation live if I wanted to next turn. And then from there I proceeded to do a lot of damage there because Garua doubles the battle damage, and then the Skull Guardian is still at 2050 because its effects are negated. Then from there I go to Pot of Prosperity to search out impermanence, and then from there my opponent goes, but I was just able to stop and negate a lot of his stuff, and from there he just decided to scoop it up. That gave us round 1 against Labrynth, and it was really good. I liked how well the deck performed, and it was a really good send-off. So when we go to round 2, funny enough, I am playing against Labrynth yet again, and I'm gonna apologize for this, guys, because of the glare you guys are seeing in this video. It's a little bit difficult for me to give you guys the play-by-play because I'm like realistically lost with some of the stuff that actually ended up happening, and I forget some of the Labrynth cards' names. So I am going to try to do my best to commentate about this stuff, but it's going to be difficult. So if I'm rambling here, just know that's the reason why. But I'm trying to give you as much context as I can. But yeah, so my opponent wins the die roll as usual, goes to Pot of Extravagance. He digs into a couple cards. He was just able to set some things. Then when it became my turn, I'm trying to do my plays, and then it's not really working out as well because I forgot the field spell. When you use Welcome Labyrinth, you could also pop a card on the field. And he also has I think it's Silver Castle. I don't know. I keep forgetting the big names of the high level Labyrinth monsters. But, he pops a card in my hand, and then I'm just trying to do anything really, but he kind of puts me in a tough position. And then even with my Ceravis, I had bounced it back for cost, but he was able to negate that. Then I have the Radiance I had to depend on by summoning on my low from my deck during his turn and set a barrier. He's already attacked me directly for some damage and stuff like that. So when it becomes my turn again, after he sets up I think he has Welcome Labyrinth or Big Welcome Labyrinth, I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's playing Labrynth for a while, and every time I played against him, he does very well. So it's been a while since I played against Labrynth, so that's why I was trying to figure out what is he gonna do with his plays. But anyways, we're going through this, and I'm trying to think what can I do here. I used the ritual spell card to summon out Protector because I think I tributed Nibiru, and I had low in my graveyard. I think I brought it back or something like that. But Ceravis on my hand, I tried to destroy his cards. I think I was able to do some little bit amount of damage, but it wasn't anything significant or whatsoever. And my opponent, basically what's just gonna end up happening is that I'm just gonna end up winning this game. So I end up getting game 1, and then from there I was just able to just do some more damage, and then my opponent was just able to scoop after setting up some stuff, negating some stuff, and just kind of juggling through his cards. So when it comes to game 2, he opens up with Pot of Extravagance again, so I thought that was pretty funny. He has a better setup this time, and I believe this is the duel where he has a Dimension Barrier. He sets Dimension Barrier from one of his Labrynth monsters, one of the ladies that lets you set a normal trap card from your deck. I think that's the newer one, but yeah, he's gonna set a D Barrier, and I'm just oh, great. And then yeah, I was just that sucks. So he was able to pop another card in my hand, that being Diviner of the Heralds, and I was just like, oh, that sucks even too. But I top deck. I think I top deck a low or barrier or something, or not really, because I know Dimensional Barrier is coming, and then it's just like, yeah, he activates it, and I'm just like a sitting duck from this point on, and then I'm just like, what can I realistically do here? So like, it's a little bit like I have a pot of prosperities. I'm banishing my stuff, seeing what I can flip up, and then it's like, yeah, what am I gonna add here? It's not really gonna do anything, because I'm not gonna lie, he ends up winning this game, and it was just like an awkward position because he set back D barrier. I can't remember how he did it. I think it was one of the Labrynths or something like that. I think it was the other level 8 one. I had evenly, but it was just like, yeah, I guess, but it just wasn't all the things that I needed there to actually win this one. So like, I'm just like, just letting it play out and just seeing how he's doing his combos, because I want to see what else he's playing in case if like game 3 it's like, he's going to use the same stuff, but I think he's going to take out D barrier and all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, it was just a rough position from this point on. So my opponent's just setting up and attacking like me directly, doing some damage, having the D barrier reset, and then it's like I drew a card. I think this is where I ended up scooping, because it was kind of like, oh no, he destroys another card in my hand, being Harpy's Feather Duster, which was late into the game. And then yeah, I top deck and I just end up scooping. So I go first, I summon out low, I believe, set Radiance, because I already had barrier, activated barrier, but he has the Ash Blossom. And then from there, I had the Radiance to send back my Skull Protector, so I can add the Saphira and send the Ritual Spell card and add Saravis to my hand. And I tribute him to summon out. I use a Serapha's Grave effect to ritual summon out the Skull Guardian that was already in my hand. And then I brought back low from a graveyard, get a search of a Saravis. And from there, I just set a card. I can't remember what I set, and I passed. But my opponent, he has another pot of Extravagance for the 3rd time. And I'm like, great. I did not see that during my Guru Control days, but it is what it is. But yeah, I ended up bouncing my Saravis to summon out Saravis. And then I think from that point, I think I was just going to negate some stuff. But anyways, like, time was getting called to that point, but my opponent was just going to end up like, I think he scoops. He either scoops or he ended up doing some damage. I can't remember which one happens, but I was able to get game 3, and that gave me round 2. And it was a tough one because my opponent knows how to play Labrynth. He knows what he's doing. And then it's just like, it's crazy. Every time I play against him, I'm sweating there, because I'm like, what's he going to do? And it's, it can get a little bit unpredictable at times, because you think you know where he's going, but then he ends up doing something completely different, or he has one of the furnitures in his hand just to chain some stuff. And then luckily he did not have a D barrier, so that was great. So yeah, I was just able to go for some damage, and then he ended up scooping. And then so for round 3, we go against Fire King Snake Eyes, and my opponent's going first. He summons out like all this board stuff, but I have a Nibiru in my hand, so I'm just waiting to use this thing, because I know not to use it right away. You want to wait till like the end play so you can activate Nibiru, but yeah, I'm just waiting. Like, it's just sitting in there. My opponent's just going off. He's setting up everything. He has like the Sun Wolf, the 2 level 1s he brought back, Ponix, and I believe the Garua. And then I'm not exactly sure. I think I do it when he summons out the Fire Princess or Promethean Princess. I think from this point, I think this is where I used the Nibiru. And no, actually, it was during the Link 4. Okay, when he was, I think, going to end his turn, I activated Nibiru. So I attributed those cards, and then I just, it started being my turn. He proceeded to pass. I summoned out Diviner. He activates Imperm to negate it, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got Barrier. I'm sorry, pre-preparation. I search out the Skull Guardian and the Ritual Spell card. I think, I can't remember if he trolled right there, but I don't think he did, actually. Pot of Prosperity. I forgot what I ended up adding. It's a little bit hard angle. Oh yeah, Trias. I added Trias to my hand, tributed out the Herald so I can bring it out, and then also bring out low. Unfortunately, I don't have my Relinquish Anima, so like I wish I could have stole that token, but that's not gonna happen there. But yeah, when it becomes during the battle phase, Nibiru token has low defense points, so I was just able to like literally attack into it, just destroy it, and then proceed to do a lot more damage from that point on. And then it was it was quite a lot of damage. I forgot how much it was, but it was like, because it was halved because of Product Prosperity, it was still a good amount of damage. And then when it became his turn, I bounced out the Saravis to summon out Saravis, the ritual monster from my deck. And then when it becomes my opponent's turn, he's trying to do, I think, the Fire Island, and I destroy it with the, or no, he did something I negated, and then he summons out Garunix, and then he pops Kirin, I believe, in the graveyard in his deck. And then he's trying to do something, but he completely forgets that Yeah, actually, okay, so he summons out that one, and then this is where he's actually going to forget that because I have low on my field, my Skull Guardian is actually 4,100 attack points, and he tries to attack into it with Kieran, and he did not read that, so Kieran got destroyed, he lost damage, and then he ended up scooping from there because he forgot to read that part of the effect. So then when it becomes game 2, he activates the Witch. I had the Imperm, and then I also had Draw and Lockbird after he searched out the Popular, and then he's setting up decent because you can still kind of play. Oh, if you go into Draw and Lockbird, I think you could still play. I'm not entirely sure what was in his hand, but he was still trying to set up a board, and I think he does a good amount. Does a good amount of plays to go into some stuff. Because yeah, he's always good when it's come to playing a meta deck. He knows how to play it. He knows what he's doing, and then from that point, I think he just ended up passing. I think he had this. Yeah, he ended up passing. Okay, so he passes and then he activates that to go into SP after I use Barrier, I believe. And then he bounces my he banishes my Barrier, summons out 2 Snake Eyes from his graveyard, and he's able to get the Searching and then Recovery. And then I think I don't know if I have pre-prep in my hand. No, I actually just had 2 cards, and I think that was it because I don't think my hand was that great. I think that this was not that great. And then my opponent's just going, and I think this is where he pops off because he ends up getting game 2, I'm so sorry. And then I had Super Poly, which was great. I went into the Mud Dragon, but it was just like, I think he still pops off from this point on. And I called Fire for its effect because I don't know why. I forget Mud Dragon has that effect, but it's like, I don't know. I might have shotgunned it. I should have probably said like Dark or something. I don't really know, but yeah, he's still able to play. He's still just able to play. He has the Garunix, had the I forgot what that level 4 one is called, Avarda, I think that's what it's called. Then he had the Bonfire, Search Not Popular, and I'm just like, okay, my opponent's probably gonna win this one, and he definitely does win this one. Like I'm just like sitting here just waiting, but then it comes to the point where I think we're almost like close to like 10 minutes of timing, so I ended up scooping from that point. And then it was rough, it was rough. I had 2 hand traps, Super Poly, the Barrier got banished, and it was just nothing really much I could do from that point on. And then I think I top decked like an Ash Blossom. Like I top decked an Ash Blossom. I think that's when I ended up scooping. So I go first on the next turn. I summon out Herald. It gets negated. I did pre-prep. I added the Seravis and the Ritual Spell card. And then time is getting called. Time is getting close to actually being called here. So I'm trying to do my plays as much as I possibly can. I mean, there's still a good amount of time, but like I'm trying to get to that point where I can have a turn, So I summon out Seravis, I Skull Guardian, but unfortunately no low. So, I have no negate from that point. So my opponent's turn, he has the Ponyx, he searches out the Sanctuary, but then I had the Droll and Lockbird, thankfully. And then he uses Evenly Matches, and then I chain my Seravis, and then to bounce back so I could get out Seravis, and I just ended up banishing my Skull Guardian. He sets a card and passes. I draw, and then he adds back Ponyx, and I think he added back Ponyx. And then I activate the pre-preparation right, so I was able to search out the Skull Guardian and the Ritual Spell card, use that Ritual Spell card, tribute that to summon out the Skull Guardian, but he negates it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just bounce back to my Seravis, and then I'll just attack both directly for some good damage. And then we're getting time called here. We're getting close to time being called. And he's trying to play as quickly as he can, but it's not enough. Time does get called, and I ended up winning with higher life points, and it just worked out well. And I'm just like, okay, awesome. So we go into round 4, and we're playing against Heroes, which is crazy. Like I was playing Heroes before that, so I ended up changing the deck, and now it's like, oh wow, it came full circle. I'm now playing against Heroes, and my opponent's popping off. I'm not gonna lie, he gets game 1. I keep saying round and game, but anyways, he gets game 1. He's setting up a really great board where he has a Dark Law, Absolute Zero, a favorite context set. He has Diviner, and I think he has DPE out, and I'm just like, dang, like I can't really do anything with this because I had cards that needed things to send to the graveyard, like Seravis, and I'm sorry, Saphira, it has to send to the graveyard. So it's like, yeah, there's nothing I could do from this point on. So I just ended up scooping. He got game 1. Like, he beat me. He got all that great stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is because I changed the deck, isn't it? And I had pre-preparation rights, but he had Ash Blossom. So I was like, he had everything. And I'm just like, yeah, let's just go ahead and go to game 2. So I go to game 2. I'm setting up a lot better here. I'm sitting a lot better at this point, and I'm setting up a decent sized board. Now, just to tell you guys here, unfortunately, game 3, because I ended up getting game 2. Game 3 does not get recorded because the phone stops recording midway into this round, and I was not able to record the final the final seconds of the last round, which was unfortunate because I wanted to actually have heroes showcased on my video here, because this is awesome that I'm going against heroes in the finals, like the final round of the tournament as undefeateds, and it's just like, it's cool. Like, I wanted to have that, but unfortunately that's not going to happen, so I'm going to just have to explain it as much as I possibly can. So we're going into this, and then my opponent, like I said, on my board, and then he has Trinity, and I was able to like negate Trinity's effect because it says it can activate. So we forget that it gets destroyed, and then he has like DPE. He had the Fusion Destiny. He summons out DPE, and he can't destroy my monsters because of the barrier, but he was able to pop my summon limit, so that was a bit unfortunate. So my opponent's just going as much as he possibly can, but ultimately what just ends up happening, that I was just able to get over his board quite a lot, and was just able to press for a lot more damage. And then it came to the point where I just I don't know if I ended up getting him down to 0 or he ended up passing, but I ended up getting game 2 by pressing a lot of damage. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty tough because he had that DPE, and it's just like he can activate it whenever he can to disrupt some of my plays whenever he wanted to. So as long as I had barrier, that was good, but I only had the one barrier, so I didn't have any other ways to play out another barrier if I needed it. So like I mentioned, I was not able to record game 3 of the final round, so I'm going to quickly go over what happened. My opponent goes first, and he sets a favorite contact, mass change, and has Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, DPE, and a Wander Driver. And then I had no board wipes, I had no hand traps to stop it, but I did have a full good hand. I had like Herald, a Barrier, I did have a Skull Guardian, but I also have Pot of Prosperities, a Pre-Preparation of Rites, and something else. But I ended up top decking a Super Polymerization, and I was able to fuse both of his fusion monsters to go into a Dracostopelia. And then he has that favorite contact, so from there I'm just like trying to play out my turn without having to get 2 cards popped. So we're going through that, and then he does end up using it eventually to pop my Barrier and my Low out onto the field. And when I go into ritual summoning out Skull Guardian, I do summon out the Skull Guardian, and summon out the Skull Guardian, and then I had the Dragostopelia, and then like I had a Low, I summoned out Low back, and then I had something else. I think I had another monster. I think I had another monster, or I linked both of these. I can't really quite remember, but I summoned out the Dino Mundo, but I completely forgot about favorite contact's effect of it not being able to get bounced. I was trying to get rid of his shiny Neos Wingman because that thing had monstrous attack points, and I could not get rid of it. I was thinking, oh my god, I messed up. I screwed up on that one. And then what ended up happening is that I had the Pot of Prosperity. I was trying to dig through my deck, hoping to get the cards that I needed, and I did. I got the Triple Tactics talent to take control of his Neos Wingman, and I had the Neos Wingman, and I destroyed his Wander Driver, and all the damage is halved, but I still do a good amount of damage just there. And then when what happened was that I linked both of his I linked both my monster and his monster to go into an IP Masquerena. That way he can't get it back. And then what happened was I did use the Skull Guardian to negate his Wander Driver, so that way he couldn't get Miracle Fusion back. And then when it became his turn, I tagged out Dino Mundo to summon out the Skull Guardian, and I had a Skull Guardian, and I had the effect of Low activate. And then I also had the Trap card out. I had the Trap card out because that comes into play as well. I can't remember if I set it because of it, or I had it in my hand, or if I used Low. It was like one of those. But then anyways, my opponent goes and he discards a hero, summons out Ferris, and that was it for his hand. Summoned out Ferris, placed the increase, used the increase, tribute Ferris, and then from there, activated my trap card to pop the increase, and from there, he scooped, and I won the last game of the round, and I went undefeated with this deck, and it was just such an amazing feeling because I was like, oh, it was so nerve-wracking going against the deck because he really knew what he was doing, and I respect that. And yeah, he was just a really good hero player, and I enjoyed playing against heroes in the final match, the final round of the tournament. I just really wish I could have recorded the rest of it, but that was just unfortunate. It was just unfortunate timing there. But this deck performed very well, and I liked it, especially with only having 2 Low. And like I said, I ordered the 3rd copy, so I'll probably get it by the next video. And I'm probably going to do some changes to the deck. The deck worked out very well. It was like, yeah, it just really worked out. But the Ash Blossoms I'll probably take out because I never really used them, and I always would side them out sometimes here and there. And Triple Tactics Talents, like I said, it saved me in the last game, but I'm wondering if I should move this to the side deck and put it at 3 copies, or maybe even just put it at 3 and get rid of the Ashes. Or I want to kind of play Effect Veiler, see how well that does. And then the extra deck, I'm definitely going to add more Link 1s. Once I get my Relinquish Anima and get my Link Karibo back, hopefully I can do a lot better. I did get a Typhon from my friend Aaron, so shout outs to him. And probably cut down Herald to 2. The side deck, yeah, I didn't have Ghost Spells. I actually used Vados because I had nothing else, and I don't know why I picked Vados. It was just a random moment, but Ghost Spells probably in the side deck. These Super Poly, debating to putting into the main deck or keeping in the side deck. I'm not so sure. Summon Limit, didn't really use it as much, but I know it's a good card when it could come in clutch. So yeah, that is going to be it for the video. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, maybe some things that should change. And before you guys say SP Little Knight, I'm still out of budget there. I already spent some stuff getting boxes of this set, and yeah, maybe I'll get an SP eventually, but it's not like one of those things that I was like really looking forward to having needed for the deck. So, you know, it did good. It did good. I got first place, so it worked out. It worked out for the best. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. It's good to be back, and I promise to do some more videos like this and showcase this deck a little bit more. And next time I am going to have like 3 low in the deck and probably change it up, and maybe I'll do an updated deck profile. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know it's been a while since I did a vlog series video. So really, I just greatly appreciate your guys' support and your viewership. I just really, really do appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. Please hit the like button if you did. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming content. And with that, guys, I'll see you all in the next video.